Test. Yeah. We might get started. New sounds. Yeah, it will. Because it goes to the, yeah. Welcome to Cocoaheads for July. Thanks for turning up on time. We're doing well so far. Um, yeah, it's my title slide. Um, if you're there's heaps of us presenting tonight. If you're not aware of my exchange setup up the front, I actually got an Apple TV that we AirPlay to that turns up on here just to make it that one step more complicated. So jump on the Wi-Fi if you've got your laptop and you're going to be presenting. And it's Teams Square visitors and the password's co-working. There's heaps of time to do that. Today's presentation we're going to run in order of the website. The website is that thing you get to in Safari. So I've been saying this as people have been opting for presentations, so I've got some great little presentation come. I tried to put an order of people's references here that got a little bit earlier or would like to present first. So if you're presenting last, don't be offended. That's me anyway. So the agenda is the same as usual. We'll get going as soon as I finish here. Do a bit of the none that was repeat, and we'll get going with lightning talks. Pizza will be around about 8 o'clock, 7:45, 8 o'clock, and then we'll come back after half an hour or more. I'm Jesse. I bring all the beer in my car and set up the computer at the doing this in August last year. No, 2014. I've been developing for iPhone iOS since about 2009, and I work a little startup in Richmond called Hunter. I run into a lot of you who work in Richmond all the time. Cocoaheads has been around, if you're not aware, so you know, we've been around since about 2007. We're always the second Thursday of the month. This year that was the rule, with no exceptions. We have monthly hack nights on the last Tuesday of the month. We're sponsored by the Melbourne community, so a lot of your companies in Melbourne are putting up the cash to put on the beer and put on the pizza, which is excellent. No shortage of companies willing to support this group, which is awesome. We normally have presentations, but tonight it's all about lightning talks. And lightning talks go sort of 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You know, it's not a fully fledged presentation. For more information about is that the first Friday of the month? Are we setting that in? Alright, so there's also an NS breakfast which has happened a couple of times. It's now the first Friday of the month. It's normally in the city. 7:30 at Hash. First Friday of the month. Alright, I'll put it in the calendars properly now. For more information about Cocoaheads, cocoaheads.com/about at Melbourne Cocoa on Twitter. We have a Slack channel with 185 people in it at the moment. If you'd like to get on the Slack channel, grab me. I can invite you straight away. It's pretty quick. We broadcast monthly on YouTube, and there is a different archive there this year that I should go through and edit a little bit, but we're on YouTube. If you can watch it at home. If you'd like to contribute to Cocoaheads, you can do some of the presentations, talk to other people on Slack channel in the Google group. Come along. It's all part of the contributing to the community. Sponsors this month are Domestic Cat. I think Pat's associated, but is anyone see from Domestic Cat? Yeah, busy, really busy. Anyone? Pat Richard and Co from Domestic Cat. They're sponsoring a few events this year. Coming for ages, and they're awesome. So, it's not ones itself, but they're awesome. Our hosts at Tim Square, I think everyone's pretty comfortable here these days, except the new lobby downstairs, not really up to scratch. But Michael Shims from King Square has been based together this venue all year. No questions asked. They've tried out King Square thing. Well, you can co-work here for a day for free, so jump on them. They've got great Wi-Fi, they've got great facilities. They seem to keep expanding. You're right in the middle. General business. Jeff World's coming up later next month. I knew that was coming up. I jumped on the website today and I looked at the speaker list, and you've got Mark Edwards, Russell, Audrey, Ashton, Phil from Sydney, Matt from Melbourne or from Sydney. Okay. Seth from Mr. Cat, Donnie and Jacqueline from REA. That's a lot of people from this community that are presenting this. That'd be. I didn't look at the workshops. Didn't think about that. Sorry, Joe. Oh, it's all very complicated, but I tried. A11 WAG accessibility. Is it accessibility? Is that what it stands for? They've got some workshops on the 20th and a camp on the 21st in Docklands. Their website is up there in Ashton. You're speaking at that? Or awesome. Right, so Sarah, who's here from the company that needs to ask you know what they're doing? Alright, I'll start this and I'll go in here. You'll just anyone on that side, head back this side, look forward. So, still. Ashton handed it back. Was there was yep. Some right, yeah, that was good. That's normal. People coming is great. We're gonna start the night presentation with you. What the month it was. Yep.
Right, sweet. So tonight I'm doing the month that was. Building tunings and tonight. My name is Pete Goldsmith. I saw Pete Goldsmith on Twitter. I can eat or Mr. Goldsmith or Miss Goldstein, Ollie, but even Goldfest on Pokemon Go. I thought I was really cool when I dialed one in. I'm still even Goldface, no. So I'm building cool on Pokemon Go. So, since last Cocoaheads, there really hasn't been anything old that's like happened. There's been no news whatsoever. No. I opened up the, so to generate all of my slides, the board mesh, I have RSS feed for Mac rumors, and their RSS feed to generate the month of June was breaking their servers due to so many injuries. So I have to go through day by day, little part. So I had LWC in the beginning of June. Raise your hand if you went over December, and wow, that's like almost half through. That's awesome. Now, keep your hand raised if you got the meeting book. Yeah, no, you. Those of you that are aware, and I was doing some training and pronunciation. She's 9 years old. She comes to Cocoaheads here, and she's one of us. And because she's the younger developer ever to attend LWC, there was like lots of press, like French Review, Bloomberg, New York Times, everyone been doing it. Priscilla was kind of upset that she's getting to skip all lines. Also in Melbourne, you had Jeff presenting doing a presentation on TV, using TV and market. We also had Chris Mars doing his presentation on the reveal clone. No, there was no prejudice. It still was a good job, yeah, no S in Chris Martin's shirt that day. He's always in a t-shirt. I'm just going to switch through the next slide about the actual announcements of the Delta because there were so many. You can now talk to your desktop with Siri on Sierra. You're being told to breathe more often, and there's also the mini watch face. There's now dark mode on TOS. There's the big modification of iOS 10. You get to slime into text messages and substitutions for emojis will come into your text messages. There's like so many features for all of these, and like could you give the entire night going through the presentation. One of the biggest, what I think most huge technical achievements was Playground on the iPad. Still haven't been able to get enough details from Chris and Sam, everyone at Apple's work that went in behind that. They said it was like over 2 years of work to get the whole sort of elegant tech on the ARM market. We also got a lot of goodies for developers. If you were that's a bit of a note to all of the Siri APIs and the new mapping APIs. You need to be of like a ride sharing app or a fitness app, and some of you may be in that market. And, that's very few, but some of us that have to do the occasional enterprise app wasn't any good for us. The Apple Design Awards, there was more Australia love there, Street and Nova, both of those came out of Australia, Tasmania and Adelaide. Sydney and Adelaide. Jesus. I'll make sure to check my sources. Alright, so for some non-WWDC news, Microsoft hired LinkedIn for $26 million. That'd be really fun to hang out with. And even 2 seconds listening to just a joke for you there. No, so, the Apollo 11 code got open source on GitHub, which would be amazing, and like all things that get open source on GitHub, all of the pull requests are typos. Also in space news, Juno made its way to Jupiter and entered orbit. There's also the description that if you weren't on any form of social media, this is shared like in every content, every feed. I've read that and but yeah, that's an extremely amazing feat of like engineering and technical capabilities. Like, sometimes I can't even get an app to be bug free for a week. Like, I can't even get my right. UK votes to leave the EU. Apple announced their applications are open for none of the apps. I think that applies to Australia. I think yes, it's America to go over there. But yeah, it'll be an interesting. It's part of their new Apple create original content that they'll be streaming through iTunes. And finally, last big piece of news that it's very handy to like, Pokemon Go since like entering the building. Wow, that's a good move. Right. So yeah, Nintendo stock went up 25%. There's been like coordinated robberies and just crowds of people looking like they're in zombie mode. There's some, like, you'll see more and more and more and more memes every day on social media about this. The trend doesn't seem to be slowing down. And that was super quick and thoughts.
Hi, good evening. My name's Gemma. I'm a high school teacher, so I teach. It's going through. That's okay. Let's go back. Okay. So I teach at an all-girls high school in Melbourne, a public school, and at the moment, I'm not sure if anyone really knows much about the new Victorian curriculum that's going on. Okay, that's better. So in all, in all government high schools at the moment, we're meant to be bringing in a new subject called digital technologies. But there's a real problem because there's not enough teachers to actually be teaching this subject. So in 2017, it's actually meant to be brought into every single public high school from years 5 to 10. So I'm actually trained in metalwork. So there we go. So that's me. I make jewellery. I was trained in metalwork background, and I teach metalwork and woodwork in high school. And I also teach visual communication design, so like graphics and things like that. So I've been doing that for a few years. So I decided that I would, go and learn a little bit more about technology from my high school. And I thought a good thing to do was going to be app design, because that's something that would engage the students, and I thought that would be something that would be interesting for me as well, and something that's for the future as well. So, because sometimes it's really hard to engage the girls in technology as well, so I wanted something that they would be able to grab onto and, roll with. So what I've decided decided to do research online with some different courses to do, and one that I found that looked really good was at RMIT, which was taught by Audrey. And it was a 5-week course just on Saturdays. And so I started that 5 weeks ago, just finished this Saturday. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was really worried about going to the course. I felt that I was going to be the dumb person in the class because I am not like IT literate at all. The only things that I knew how to do on the computer was use Photoshop and Illustrator. I've never done IT as a subject or anything like that. But yeah, I was just really interested in motivating the girls and the students to do something. So yeah, I picked this course to do, and luckily I wasn't the dumb person in the class. It gave me good insight to the kids at school and thinking about how they might come to my class and feel like they're the dumb kid. The first thing that we did was make Hello World. That was the first lesson. And then, so I went home and thought, okay, I don't know anything about coding. I really want to learn a bit more. It's a totally new language to me, and I want to get the most out of this course as possible. So I went home and I started reading the books that Audrey suggested to read, and I started YouTubing some things, and I found that there was heaps on YouTube, and I found this one about making a quiz in Swift. So I started, then I found how to make a custom button. So I started making some buttons and things, but unfortunately, like Photoshop and Illustrator had been wiped from my computer, so all I was working with was Word and like screen grabbing stuff to make my buttons. So they weren't like the most beautiful buttons, but yeah, they were something to go with. So this is my desktop, and it was looking all very different to me. The computers at issue in government schools are pretty crappy, and they don't give you an Apple. Like, so I'm not allowed to have an Apple at school, so I have to buy myself. So I got an older Apple. So they'll have the Lenovo old school ones that take around 10 minutes to like load anything, like turn on. So this was my quiz that I started to make. So I was just typing in some different buttons and things and seeing how it worked just from the thing that I found on YouTube and the button thing. And I thought, this wasn't looking too flash. So then I changed to black and white and grey, and was just working with layouts and things. So then on our the second lesson that we had with Audrey, she talked a little bit more about like how to lay out your page so that it can work on different devices and stuff like that, which was very helpful because this is how my quiz was looking when I was flipping it around. So then in the third week, we learned how to make a bullseye game, and the part that I really liked about was that we learned how to make the pop-up alerts. So then I thought, I can put that into my app, and I've made a pop-up alert for my app. So what I've done is I've then started to make the quiz devoted to Year 12 students who are studying digital communication and design. So I've made a quiz that has 60 questions set at random, and so they can click and it says correct or incorrect, and you click next and go to the next one. And I thought, okay, I want to try and share it. So I didn't know what it was called or anything, so I did lots of Googling and found that it was called the UI Activity View Controller. And so I just watched another YouTube clip and worked out that I could share my app on Facebook, so that was pretty exciting. And then I didn't really want to do much more work on quiz until I knew that I could get it up or something. So after the 60 questions, I Googled, how to submit my app to Apple, and found this link to the Rayundic site, and it's got a 2-part tutorial on how to submit your app. So after reading it, and it took me around, 5 hours to work out what everything was talking about, and having to make sure everything was in line and downloading the keys and all this kind of stuff. I also, luckily I already had, because I make my jewellery and I sell it online and everything, I already had my URL, so I could link that to my app, and I just made like a developer page as part of my app, so I linked onto my jewellery page, because I wasn't sure if Apple would be annoyed if I didn't have something there. And then, so I put in my app, and around 14 hours later, they accepted my app, so that was pretty exciting to get that, because I thought they might not accept it, because it was a bit average. But yeah, so that's on App Store, so that's pretty exciting. But I've been showing my students along the way the different things that I was doing, and I was like, look at this, like, I've got a pop-up now, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, great. And I was like, no, that was really hard. I don't understand how hard that was. But I think they just take it for granted that, when it flipped, I'm like, look, it flipped. And it actually doesn't cover other things. And go, oh, yeah, sure. So at the moment it's up on the, so they were somewhat impressed when I then showed them, look, you can actually download it now. And they go, oh, okay, cool, that's cool now. So finally it's cool. But then, so now it's up, but I want to make it better and add more pages. So in our last lesson with Audrey, a couple of lessons we've been learning about segues and things like that. So I've Googled how to do scroll views and things. And so this is how it's looking at the moment. So at the moment I've got the quiz page, but then I've got a tab bar down the bottom, so you can tab up, because it's aimed at Year 12 students studying for their exams. So you've got the quiz, and then off to the right you can tab off to go, oh, I need to study more, and then you've got, down the bottom there's like all the different study sections, and then they can tab off to the different sections that I realise I've got to study more for. So I'm just working on the content at the moment, and then I'll go back to, once I've got Illustrator working back on my computer, I'll be prettying it up a little bit and, yeah, going with that. But, so from now on, what I'm doing, so next year we've got an elective starting at my school, which I'll be running. So it's app development for students, and it's aimed at Year 10 students. So they're around 16 years of age. Originally, when I was going to do the course, I thought, yes, sweet, they can all design whatever they want, and it'll be great. And I realised that that's probably a little bit ambitious of me, and it'd be doing hands up the whole time. So I think I'm going to run with something like they'll make a game, but they'll be designing the game icon kind of thing in the backgrounds, and maybe work out the speeds and things like that. So I'll probably give them the codes, and then they have to type them in, and then work out all the graphics and things like that, do the icons, and things like that. And then the advanced kids can then go off and make different segues and things like that, and kind of do what I've done and try and work things out for themselves. Because, I think it's really important for, especially girls of the future, to start getting an idea of, what's going on out there. Because I've always taught art and design areas, and I know how hard it is to get a job in those areas. I don't often encourage them to go down that pathway, but I feel this is an area that I would really encourage them to go down. So it was really good, learning about all this. I worried I was going to be a dumb kid, and then, realised I wasn't, so that was good. So that's all. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It is tricky, and a lot of girls do love gaming and stuff like that. Like, I asked my class, about Pokemon Go, and I said, because I teach a year reviews class, and I said, oh, okay, so what is Pokemon Go? The download, and so I said, it, and everyone's hand shut up. So everyone's into it, and they'll, some of them will chat to me about playing WoW and things like that. But I don't know, it's really hard. I think that's why I'm taking it through a design way, so that think we're trying to aim it at them so that it's achievable, like they can make something that is achievable. They're so excited. So because my class is year 11 at the moment, but I'm going to be teaching it to year 10s next year, they're all really upset that they can't do it. And so I said, don't worry guys, like we'll run some after school sessions, just showing them Xcode, showing them, look, you can Google your questions and teach that off what to do. So just to kind of open their eyes to what is there, like you don't know what you don't know, so I want to give them something, yeah, and just basically say to them, look, you know, there are every year in, you know, in class design courses, there's say 150 students finishing every year and maybe 10 jobs in Melbourne, and that's, you know, maybe not the best way to go. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I haven't. But so it's really silly. It's the teachers that get given non-math products. But all the kids have iPads and have all computer labs that are all of Macs. So it's really silly. Also at year 10, the kids all build a device, so they get to choose what they want, and majority, like, you know, maybe two in a class don't have a Mac, so most of them do bring a Mac. So, yeah. Yeah, I have. Yeah, it was really fun. So I downloaded playgrounds and I've had to play around with it. I thought that would be a great encourage kids, maybe for a first class, just to, so they get their head around how, how it's written, like in lowercase and in uppercase, and spaces and things like that, because I think that's something that might take them a minute to get their head around as well. So yeah, I think that's really cool. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's a big problem. And that was the other thing that I didn't want to go into a course that was run by the education department because I find that they're really low level. And I don't get a lot out of them. That's why I decided to do something that wasn't run by the education department. But it's a big problem because the Department of Victoria, like they are expecting everyone to be doing this in their schools, and they don't have the teachers to be taking it. And it's a big problem. In general with education, there might be a lot of them not teaching kids the right skills for the future, but they're still teaching things that are quite outdated, and not, yeah, that's my personal opinion. Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I think a lot of schools would be really interested in that. I don't know if school would be interested in that, and many others would. But I guess the fact that the department names so often, it reconsiders what they want to do, and I force these things onto schools that a lot of teachers become jaded by them. And so my school, when I was thinking of the school and I was reading the curriculum, we've changed things. And the head curriculum at the school said, but we teach girls to teach. They all have iPads. I said, no, using Google Images and taking an image on the iPad is not being IT literate. This isn't right. And I'm reading through the documentation and kids at E10 level are maybe coding and doing stuff like that. And I'm like, that is not using an iPad at all. So, I mean, a lot of schools just pretend that they're doing it and say, oh, they've got iPads, they're doing it. Everyone just assumes that kids these days know how to use IT because they all use it on iPhones and stuff. Just because they have an iPhone doesn't mean that they're naughty. Yeah, I think it actually makes them not know it so much. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why I thought the quiz was a good idea, because then I could give them the codes to the quiz, but they still have to understand the code in order to improve on it. So if you change, like tuitions or additions, you understand it in order to make it work. So it's not too hard for, someone to understand who's not that into it. And then they can do it, and they can show me that they understand, but then they can focus on the design side as well, and have a piece at the end that they're proud of, and they can show their friends on their phone, and yeah, and then the advanced years can go off, because there is so much stuff online, and then teach themselves how to do it, so I don't have to know everything. Yeah. Mm. Okay, thank you.
That was really good. Thank you so much. Anything you want to say? So I'm actually not very fortunate. Um, so I recently started a new comparing rule for a couple of months. This company called Red Bull, and for people that don't know what Red Bull does is they let you let artists put their artwork and you can put it on t-shirts, cushions, stickers, and things. And something they're really famous about for is the fact that you can so on the web they read everything. So they always want you cannot roll out a new feature unless you prove that it's going to either increase your revenue, increase people, so people coming back to your websites, etc. So whatever you do has to be proven, and they use the testing also tools to do a lot of writing, and as well nice and good when you have products. So their product to website, but more website, more app, websites, and we currently working on prototyping on what could an app be looking like for when saying building an app. We're looking at what an app could look like and what is really challenging for development. The fact the app has to fit with the user, and what the user wants is no one knows what the user wants. We know they want an app, but we don't know what it is. So we've been doing so when you don't know what you're doing, you just pass doing a lot of different prototypes and getting users to come and test the app. And we were last time I was really inspired here when I did to talk about framework, and it's was thinking things because I'm a developer, but for once in a very long time stuff goes straight down to the tool and building app. I sat down and I was like, what I'm learning from
It's time for them that you spend time writing this app, you sit down with design, you get the user, and you use it to do stuff, and it doesn't understand why it's more easily so real. But this is all well and good, and I think it goes super far with framework. You can make it work on multiple screen, multiple device. For people who don't know what framework is, it's actually all sorts of things, animation, etc. But actually, you can plug and build data into your first frame prototypes. But there's still, it falls to a certain extent. So that's good, but then we're like, this is good, it's very interesting, we read interview, we can test, we get great feedback, but one user is an error for developers. It's not, we want to try this, we want to test this feature, we want to test this 200 people, 2,000 people, and we get feedback before we even spend time building it up. And so we're still looking at what can we use. So we knew, say, because you a lot of visualization, we knew that the key is make the book real, we best to understand what we want and show real data. Because it's all about Red Bull is all about artwork, engagement, sequence, etc. We want people to go use the app and do something, buy a product, etc. But if you you could design this app, could be artwork, but can have endless scrolling, for example. You just to a certain extent. So looking at again, we are going building anything, what we do to prototype fast. So it's that was the goal of us. I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, and so we started looking at we want data. It's good to build here, but if you're not sure, if you exactly what you're doing, it's really easy to build an API as for business. You know what screen is going to look like here. You ship your API, you send it to user. But so we're still looking at what you could do to do this, and we found this stuff. It's good enough. It's a silly question, but you guys, probably everyone uses Facebook here, except for you. And so Facebook since 2011 has this stuff in production called GraphQL. So GraphQL lets you build API without really building an API. So you build a graph of, you define a graph of what it is like SQL for the front end. So you define of it's a live API, but it's behind unfinished projects, so not use it. So there's so you have customers, so credible, they have search, they have user, they have product, they have feeds, they have work, which is artwork stuff. So you collect this schema in GraphQL, which I could show you, for example, from search here. If you go to search, you get product connection, and product, and you can see a product has some options, for example, but as well, this one has a user, so you did dive into a user, and a user has a country, and stuff. So it's like you graph information everywhere. When you do GraphQL, when you push an API in production, you get free documentation, so you don't have to do anything to get this documentation. And you can see, for example, when there's a string that's an extension mark, it means it's a required field. So when you integrate API, something that I've seen often is first we don't get we get question there. But to be fair, I'm not sure how. Yeah. So it's not, the point is you build a query, you have free documentation, you can validate, you have a schema, you build a query, you find the function you want, you do a query, you get back JSON, okay? And the beauty of this is you define two days and you want, so let's say I'm building a screen that has a purpose, a title, artwork, etc. So I'll just say I can do this, for example. Yeah. No, that's accessibility zone. Okay, so you build a query. So I'm searching for stickers in a country code and stuff. You just you say, I need the title and I need everything. So you go there, you go here, you get back, you query, okay, with the title, price measure, and stuff. Then there's something else that's a little different API. Say, for my query, don't need the title. So you refresh again, you get your done. So you don't have to change the API, you don't get a title anymore. So it's hard to see. But so it's gone. So you get a super efficient query going down the line. So you can add any property you want. So if I've seen this in a different API, let's say price on the mobile website has to be called my price, for example. And so you define an alias for the property, and my price can become, so it's called my price. So you name property query you want. You don't have to change anything in the API, you just do the query. So that's what I'm good. So we did this, we put the reference function, just a couple of days to plug this into the database. It's fantastic. We have this stuff. So we solved the problem is that we can't query anything for any of the stuff. It's just you cannot go query everything, but you can do search, you can do find filter. So you solve that problem. So you can get that out. You don't have to be like so step one done. So then, as what I mentioned, so if you do prototype as well, you can use Surface Builder, but in Surface Builder it's good, but it doesn't solve for you. So you can build interface, but you cannot connect it to real data. You have to start writing code. When you try to actually writing code, spending a lot of time building a feature you might not use. Okay, so that's it for the GraphQL bar. Okay. So the next stuff we're trying to look at is, so we're building an app. Okay. Is this video? Yeah, I never thought one day that the question to the presenting something just good. So yeah, so now it's we need a tool that still feature the user really quickly without any hands building anything. As you know, it's beautiful, like sometimes do stuff, and is it worth if you don't know what to build, is it worth it to spend a lot of time building this? And how quickly can you get this feature to test user? It's very thousand of them. Because test strategy is very easy, but when you spend 8 weeks building something, you send to user, it's trash, you see you lost 8 weeks. But if I could you could spend 4 days doing the settings, and you could ship that still feel very native, right? So we started this reactive. We're not yet doing it, but JavaScript is good enough. It is obviously there are some good things and not so good things, but so I don't know very good job in terms of, I mean, it's not about React Native, not just it's about React Native and the architecture that have to have Redux, which is a step reducer in one class. We have it with Swift, the good ones using, for example. Bunch of things. Yeah, so I think it was written for, I think my code is productivity happiness, a bunch of little things. So, for example, I'm not supposed to show most of the time satisfaction, okay? Because we just going to see the strategy process. So, let's just imagine you had a tiny little button. So, this button, it's much smaller. It's in a list of feedback. You want to make it have this tiny little button. It's 16 pixels by 16 pixels, and you tap it. And what do you do when it's when you write in Swift, I was already seeing is that you have to faster and you don't have to worry about anything. Okay? It doesn't mean it's easy, it's just take over life and it's super. So there is the problem that JavaScript is a dynamic language, which is a problem. There's a lot of fancy dynamic language, but you can make mistake. And because we don't compile the app, you could make mistake and mistake here, work on it. Especially Facebook is full and it's full of React and stuff, so it's a background. Still checking yourself, so just make sure whatever you're doing makes sense. So you still declare you put it, and so that's about that Facebook and Ucloud, which is a React framework from Facebook. Facebook has a variety of stuff that lets you run all sorts of things that you have with JavaScript. And what it starts when you use flow, which is the time file, is going to check that. Sorry, it's not a good example. This one, we're going to go prediction 3, for example, declare that using a coordinate prediction. You can see it's by prediction, it's all tag everywhere. And I'm about to make a mistake. You say, we all well aware of this when we use with logic. If you combine and say, this probably doesn't exist, so you can do the same with JavaScript. I can find this, what you're doing, etc. And it's really cool because most of this you don't have to write yourself. It's all deducted for you, but sometimes you have to do that on the okay, so you can add type information to all your messages and just do better. And it's a tool that helps you and go faster because go fast doesn't break things. As for I could go on for a long time. These are just not very important. There's all sorts of things you can do linking or this is simple or it lets you make sure you JavaScript you write. So for example, we say in JavaScript you can do all sorts of things and no one has to start. For example, my editor here, for a code and then fix it using this stuff. So it's pretty good. Yeah, that's for this. So now the reason I wanted to and decided to start using React Native is because with the server graphical and React and graphical works better and it works well on React Native as well. So what you do when you write something, actually use tiny example. So you have your list here, and so all you do, so all app is so please know what you only have one step. You set goals inside, and every time something changes, it ping you back and say, hey, it's due, I've got a new function for you, do you update it? So it's system works like this. And once you have a list here, if we go, for example, home, you just, for UI, you have your list, just declare where you're going to do. So that's a graph reference. So you declare what you're going to do, and there's a framework, you don't have to worry about anything. There's a framework that's going to say, I'm going to go find this for you, and ping back and have it, and it's going to do paging, automatic paging, error ending, optimistic. For example, if you do meditation, we see let's increase count, and you have the plus button, the button is going to increase the count. So tell you UI to update because it has been increased and try to sync it and come to it. So this makes it make you go even faster. To this whole lighting, things, check schema, because you have contrast. So as we think with graphical, you have a contrast that you compare to your right. You can only do certain query, but you can do graph query in a bigger graph, but you cannot do query for stuff you're not authorized to, or you're not supposed to, according to your contract you have to graphical. So, yeah, so that's all well and good. first because you only have one store. So because all that you tap on a button, like this guy here, you don't want button, you do anything. Only stuff you say, hey, I tap this button. It's sort of as notification. You tap on the button, someone say, hey, I'm interested to know what you're doing with this button. Okay? So because you have how many people have done analytics on their app? Everyone. Where do you put your analytics code? That's a good answer. Not a good answer. So what if instead you could so all the action you're doing, so anything you do, I'm tapping to the button, hey, I'm visiting this screen, hey, show me a product, hey, show me the car, etc. So all your events are done through the store. What you can do is you just put, so you have this list, so that's all the events you can do in the app. I'll show you the action for here. So that's all the action. You can change that, so you can push, push, capital product, and stuff. All this action, every time you execute them, just automatic. So you don't have to put automatic in your panel. Put it to store and just work for you, which is even better. For example, I remember saying quite sometimes doing separate expression for now. That's with Redux. I use it really fast. So because you already set to one place and all the actions to one place, you can just tell you store it for the store you store with already there. You just say save everything, so you can save where you push, where was product presented, and when you use that, you come back to put the information back and you back exactly where you were. And that's makes it very, very easy to don't have to think about because you have to think about, I need to restore push here, I don't have to start, I just start restore to that you were in tab. Because if you remember, you tapped on the tab, you did something. And two good things with JavaScript, there's one thing that's good with JavaScript is that JavaScript can compile a lot of languages is compiling to JavaScript. So if you're not happy doing JavaScript, then JavaScript isn't anything. There's a lot of languages that let you write, for example, closure script, which is closure, Elm, which is Haskell for the UI that you compile. You actually use code into JavaScript that to React. And yeah, and therefore, as one more build one app, this little app, for example, this all the answer afterwards, so that's going to be the last one. So if we go there, so first, do we ever get started? So for example, what's the process when you have to you want to change title of you what you do works and on Swift and Xcode, you go from your code that's the same as React and React, but then you want to change the text. You get the app, you change text to recompile, you go to first of all. But instead of doing it because we already do on the web, you just set your code and you update and you test. So when you lay out and start, it's very powerful. So you lay out, you just change anything you want. And you say, don't want to turn anymore, just remove it. And again, this is not works. This build net component. So you and so CSS and markup figures, you design us no problem going and changing things, tweaking things, etc. And you can try as hard as you want to do this for Swift, but something that's never going to work for example. It makes you super good and super aggressive. That's I think that's it for now. That is a very good question. So first is watching, I will say yes, and of course, yes, 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 and yes. And stuff is, I feel like the last 2 weeks for me has been incredible because all the stuff I believe, combining cards with beautiful, functional, everything, all this stuff, taking off away, it's like, oh my god, I've completely to the background, and I've been able to do stuff, to do stuff that I wasn't able to quickly. There's no view, there's also the concept of you take on. For example, you create one, you have. No, you can do, I think it's you can more because you can higher components it's sufficient. Anything else? I think it's rewarding to be able to save stuff and change stuff up. I think that's like you're shiny. If you're looking at something shiny, good. But thank you.
That was a well-received reactivity talk. Yeah, I'm sure he did that. Is Matt or Matt? Hey. It's getting technology sorted. Yeah. 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 Excuse me. Going when I dial on most things on the internet, my Twitter handle, for example, that's my Twitter page. I'm a designer, and yeah, that is how you find me pretty much. I work for Miss Questionnaire. That's half the design team, and we work on a product called Reveal, and this is my first lightning bolt. There's no hand. Oh. There it is. It's supposed to be sound. I thought sound to everything. Anyway. Yeah, cool. This is the design took, and according to this diagram, UX is more important than architecture, as you can see. Being not what the talk is about. I'm talking about iOS 10, and iOS 10 is a bunch of things. I'm pointing out some of the pretty obvious to me. The money solves to other people. Hopefully you can get something from. First, I'm going to do some history. Yeah, transition, they're kind of cool. Right here, a picture of iOS 6 and iOS 7, and this is the great polling of all the fun things. In iOS 6, the blocky highlight shows shows selections, and in 2013, they redlined the entire interface to give them marketing simulated it, and they gave us iOS not serious with marketing images. And just with fat, wide, with strict guidelines and thin fonts, and they really push hard. They make it crisp,
7 to iOS 10, you can see there's not really changed. If you look at some of the icons have actually matured a little bit as expected. Because it's a green show. But yeah. These are the main parts that we are talking about today that I find notable anyway. Starting off obviously with music. Apple Music's been heavily promoted since this year's really significant. And the thing everyone talks about straight away is how big and heavy those songs are at the top. A lot of people repeated it, about it. I've heard a lot of criticism. I think they're really good. Yes, no, there's one. Design slang. I had a major problem with music, and it was confusing as well. And what they've done here is it seems there where you're looking at that, you know your library, you know your browser, you know your own radio, and it's done really a soul perfected way. It's beautiful some other plays, but this is scale to millions of people. Mums and dads aren't going to get so lost in their life. Pointing out a few things across other apps, on the play screen you've got lots of strong controls. Moving on to the library, and this is mirrored in the music app. It's much stronger photography, clear Apple cells, colors reserved for interactive elements of content. And into health, the clipboard buttons illustrated on-brand content and colorful descriptive icons. Together, these more in the second. Use a screenshot because it's a really cool one. They're really done a good job. Has anyone watched it now devices? Yeah. I don't know. Please. The real good show here is it's showing an iPad and a phone and a WhatsApp all in one. This is a thing I've been pushing for a while, and I think it's, remember that when I ended iOS 9, I had that Brave state in the keynote. They'll be doing with iPad only apps, and watching, but I think the idea is of one app, you run it everywhere. Instead of having this idea of my phone version of my iPad version, we'll bundle them together and ship it to the store. Well, I suppose you're talking about there was strong funds clear button and illustrated outcomes. This is a screenshot of this morning on Twitter, which is of music readers and download button. You can see there's a icon button there you can recognize after a year of using iOS 9, and then they've replaced it with a prominent, this is download content, so people know where it is. This is just a bit from the Apple support team. Pointing out some stuff close to control in there. Got high contrast around the board. It's got padding around corners. It's all being friendly looking. You can really interact with the stuff. Some more number if you want to give me a call. Should probably use that actually. Gradient back. They've used custom topography, shows, highlights, all of that. What says MA there? All there, all the iOS stuff, it's only right down, it's all there. They stripped this stuff way out in iOS 7 and put it back behind. Pointing at the FaceTime button, they've actually made it clear that a button. They've put a circle around it. This is an Apple element that you can interact with. This is the whole app, and I my Fedora didn't do this one, you can write these screenshots. Again, the light shadow section, and some clear illustration. And what I mean by clever, there are really tight color schemes. Through and out covering them, and like based on the activity one, based on that, the yellow is the same rose with the hue and saturation. The background line is different bright, but the same color, saturation. On the nutrition side, it's rotating color, saturation, brightness is consistent within the same color group. So these are some like magic pictures of color. These are actually mathematically produced colors to look really good and suit the situation. So think hard about if methods of that can work for you or your That's size 6, 7, and 10. As I said with 6, the highlight shows square in the course. It's all clearly interactive and it's instructional size 6 back in the day. iOS 7 is minimal and had off, for instance, yeah, wouldn't be good to have that notification because we learned it from iOS 6, but there's no indication you can do stuff with that. Other than that, later have a little there as a handle, but at the time it was like, what the hell? iOS 10 is the best both worlds. I've gone for this notification style with a little handle you can pull down to testable. You can pull something down and interact with it. And that's something that standardized across the board. This notification is popping in Siri, it's popping on your lock screen, it's popping up in your notification center, and as other widgets. It's even popping on force button icons as well on some of the apps up there. As you see, they're being used across the board. And they'll be finished up. Moving to maps. I love the new maps version. It's really cool. They're doing the type of feeding again. But the thing I think is really key is this. We switch over to that view of inverted and dark color schemes. So a bit of dark code in their entire. I know how freaking hard it is. Just to everyone can understand how much of a net that must have been for them to sell this to their users and the game titles out there that doesn't go for an instance. If you look at the detailed view of Whiskey and Elm, you see the different positions of the sheet to the front. Yes, it is according to this. And by watching the blue buttons on the brand edition, they pick a different tint color that suits the dark background a little nicer. And I must point out the similarity in messages now. Messages, if I still go over that too much, we know what that looks like. But it's pointing out that there's a UI that's low and it can expand to be big. I think a dynamic or interchangeable sizing of your elements is on cars. And that's what I'll point out with these 3 examples. Wall handle that you can be moved around and dismiss. Users can control how much of whatever it is looking at. And Maps is a really, really good example of it. But also every notification can be from you can get a high rate of content instead of that kind of thing. Like we get a calendar and you can pull in the calendar by and see your daily events and see if it's fit into them. Oh, just some observations. I love spin. You can use your apps and complement each other and add trailblazers and direct network design. They use strong topography and they've used large control and elements. There's sections that utilize to suit the content and tasks like a music player, a message apps, app search and control center. Color and illustration is emphasized not only as art but as descriptive iconography. And you can get a look at the home tab and the health app. You'll see that iconography really utilized strong. And the master phase adapts to done when it's needed. So we conclude to do we'll want to let adapt to the device and content. Use typography that suits your needs. Don't let kids tell you to use a thin font. Just use whatever would suit purpose. It doesn't mean ugly fonts, good fonts, but definitely use ones that are suit purpose of your app. Make your UI element larger, stronger, and fully interactive. You know the buttons still without orders, but let's make them with orders. Make them fully interactive. Let your user know this is a thing to be tapped. Consider resizable sections in your app that suit your needs, and I'm referring to the maps, things the size of them down. In carded illustration, bringing in color, we always do, but it's very cool. Dark themes are awesome. Whereas the shadows still look great. Thanks. Any questions at all? Yeah, I love it. It's pretty good. 10. I heard I was 8. So there's a thing they had to do, and like will force they can't go and look from there. So I understand why I did like it. Cool.
End up with Peter. Work out. That's pretty cool, huh? So, my name is Andy, and I was from.com.au. On Twitter, Andy Hope, on Medium, Andy Hope, GitHub, Andy Hope, on Melbourne Cocoaheads, Andy Hope, Pokemon Go, Andy Hope. I'm not sure I should use my real name on that one. I feel like someone's going to track down on Facebook and stab me if I take their gym. And if you want to play, you know, like an old school gamer from like in the days? No? Alright, so do you want to understand what that code is? Cool. It's the Konami code. Just a bit before my birthday yesterday, so I had some cake, had some beers, I feel like death. So this talk may be a bit shit. Let's get into it. So before we go into that, is anyone here still join the GXC as first language? Yeah, cool. Alright, is anyone in the camp of I'll learn Swift and Swift 3 comes out? So this course is time to listen. So this talk is for those people. This is things I've learned over the past year, writing Twitter every day, pretty much. So a lot of multiple return types. In Vector C, sometimes if we're done, we'd return an array of multiple things, and this array could be anything. So it's changed because, you know, if you look at let age was detailed person, blah blah, and you get the index of 1. If the index 1 doesn't exist and it cause runtime error, the app would crash. That's not good. So if you're smarter, you would use dictionaries. So return a dictionary, then you use the key age, which is a string, of course. So this is bad because 1, using stringly type things, which is never good. And 2 is even if that string is something, it will always return notional, so you also have to unwrap it. So if you're smarter than that one, you'll use a custom class. So in this case, it would be person details. And then, you know, you can instantiate, return the person details object, and then you can access it directly from the code with the age. Well, Swift 3, you don't need that because now we have tuples. So here, I want to return a string, and I want to return int, and then you can use it to say that a equals details, and then .1. The .1 is kind of dumb if you're reading it because .1 means nothing. But now it's cool because your tuples can have names. So you can actually say name string, age in, and then we use it, you say .a. Right. So next hit is type inference. So what is type inference? It's basically saying, look, if I want to change the background color of view this variable is accepting a white color. If I want to change the font on the label, that variable is actually only accepting the font because Swift is very strongly typed, unlike JavaScript and Reactive Native. No, I didn't do well. So then you have the tab and button type system. Type inference, you actually don't need to specify UI color, UI font, or button type. We can just say black color or system font system. That's scary. It's much power. So there's nothing new about in Vector C. You add blocks, or what we call closures now. So basically, a block closure is like a little small piece of code that only exists in that closure. So in this case, just saying the alpha of view to 0, which leads into trailing closures, which is really cool because if you look at this code, the animation is the state pad takes 2 arguments, a time duration of 3 seconds and a closure, which you animation code in. But because closure is at the very end of the API call, you can actually take it out of the parentheses and immediately animation layer will complete. So here we are, animation duration for a second and then right with the closure. But we can go this farther because we can actually start taking useless information out of the closure to make the code smaller, more concise, and easier to read, easier to digest as we're coding along. So here we have the closure takes a boolean, which is called finished, and returns void, and then we do our stuff. But because we don't run anything, we can just get rid of void. We don't even need to know about generally, we don't need to know the type of finish, so we can just add bool. And you can see in the closure, we don't even use, and you can take finish outside of its tuple, so take it out. And now, because we don't even use finish, the finish variable or the constant in our closure, we can just take it completely. This is pretty cool until you have a double closure, which is, this is the most annoying thing. But, you see, like me, sometimes it would sort of make things big. But on the topic of returning void, this is just, void is the title is an tuple, so this is all the same. So returning self. So let's say we have an extension of UI view, and we just funky self there, the background color, and what's the return UI view. So we background color equal color, return self. Well, in Swift 3, you can actually say return self instead of the type of self explicitly. So this kind of runs to SQL. So you can say we have the optional equal foo and equal 10. So we have to say if let foo equals foo. So we unwrite it first, where foo is less than 100. So now it succeeds. Otherwise, now we have is. So let foo equals the next object, and if foo is type class and its object, it will succeed. But it's also kind of bad because is kind of class is an API for its object. So if we're good Swift programmers, we'll use the structure if possible. And it is kind of class and work for structs like direct or whatever you want. So we say this will cause an error, but we just say if foo is foo. Retain cycles. So retain cycle happen when you have when you reference self in a closure. So if it's a strong type self, they won't let each other and they're always hanging around memory causing bad performance, blah blah blah. So what we do is we have a capture list. So we define a weak self. So we say self becomes an option. And we do some optional chaining like this is optional, but I do something else with self. But that kind of doesn't work because do something else with self doesn't accept an optional. So we do is we say, alright, well, this is bad, let's go fix up before something wrapper, right? But the compiler won't actually say self equals self because it's kind of the name of the exact error. But what we can do is give it another name. So let's say weak self equals self, or return, and we do our stuff. I don't know that. Thank you. Should come up? Ignoring, but let's say we can put it in backwards 6. So let self equals self. And that will work just fine. Next up is shorthand argument names. So we have an array of integers in this case 1, 2, 3. And for each item into array, we print out values. So we'll print out 1, 2, or 3. So with closures, because this is actually closure, so it's for text closure, and we have variable closure syntax, that's why it's going to parentheses or whatever. So with shorthand argument names, because it's a closure, we actually don't need to specify a nut in, because we know we're going to integer. So we can just say print 0, and I'll just have 1, 2, or 3. So we don't need a num in, just say print 0. Make our IP a lot smaller. So if you want to do, there we have multiple argument names, like a dictionary, we can say, A1, B2, and we can just say print 0, print 1. So we know 0 is going to be the key, 1 is going to be the value. We've done some functional stuff. So let's say we have an array of numbers, and we want to turn it into an array of strings. So what we do before, we create like a mutable variable items. We iterate the numbers and then append the numbers as string to the string to the items array. But with Swift functional programming, you should embrace immutability. Like having items as a mutable array can always lead to side effects. So what we do is we get rid of the mutable and just say we use that function. We say every item in, sorry, it's been set numbers dot at, but if every number in numbers turns to a string, so now we have mutability wherever possible. I just commented that for others as well. So again, so let's flatten that. So let's say numbers is an array of optional ints. And as you can see here, we have a null where 3 would be. So, we'd say, we do double loop and we'd unwrap it and then we'd append it based on if it was not nil. But then we can just do flatten that. So flatten that has two functions. One can make a two-dimensional array to a one-dimensional array, or you can use it to remove nils from your array. So in this way, we're going to flatten that, get rid of all nils, and then we're going to map it. So now our lessons will have just a string version of 1, 2, and 4. So filter. Same again, so we use if number equals number, where number is less than 3. So in this case, only 1 and 2 are going to pass. And as you can see, our code is becoming more and more, a lot longer than it should be. So with filter, we can just say, alright, so we're going to get rid of nils, we're going to filter out the entire array and make sure that it's less than 3, and we're going to map it into a string. So now we just have the strings versions of 1 and 2. And reduce is the final one. So let's say you have an array of 1, 2, and 3. You have a total, so you need the sum of all the numbers in the array. So basically what you do is you create a total variable from 0, you go through each of them, say number of numbers, and then append that number to the total value. In functional programming, you can just say, this code is a bit weird, but I'll go through it. So that total equals numbers reduced. So 0 is the starting value, so if you want, you can change it to 10, or you can 0, whatever you want. And then have two arguments, so total so far and the current value. So the total so far starts with 0, and then on the next iteration will be 1, and the next iteration will be 3, and the next iteration will be 6. So total so far plus current value. But now we know how to use shorthand argument names, we can just say that. That's it. That's fast. Any questions? Yep. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yeah. I know about it. Yeah, I did that. Yeah. With one function taking 12 seconds. Well, so it depends on, the people working on the code base. I always say, yeah, you're going to lose compile times. Like, for us to do archive APA for the app store takes half an hour. Pardon? Yeah. So, I put that on cloud on this now. But, what you lose in compile time, you also gain enthusiasm because, it's a nice thing to learn. You teach schools, stuff like that. But, I don't know, for me, Swift is I've been doing Vector-Z for 6 years before this. And then jumping into a new language, which is very fun, but also very familiar, I like that. And I'm willing to sacrifice a lot of times for that. Yeah.
we're going to run for our annual break. So we'll come back half an hour. So back enjoy.
maybe I'll let him work on Swift, but not to overrate I think that's pretty funny. Okay, people over there really wrangle to find so we can get started. Everyone, my name is Joe. You can find me at Mockajum or the internet, and tonight I'm going to do something a bit crazy. I have 20 slides and 20 seconds per slide, so it's going to be pretty fast, and I'm probably going to get lost in the process. I'd like to talk to you about less conventional Swift, so not really hipster Swift, unconventional Swift, nothing too fancy. Some things that are seen around, but that are not used as much as they ought to be, in my opinion, or at least different and inspirational. So the first thing is free functions. So Swift and the about functions in Swift, and you don't really need to put a function into a class or a struct. You can just leave empty the by itself on a file, and that's really cool because it's very big. Just put in there and add the function. On the higher order function, meaning function that take another function as an input or that generate a function as an output, they're very useful to create usable code or even code that generates other code. Imagine you can do some parameter and get function that's thought of that. EM is one of my favorite feature. I think it is underutilized, but very powerful and versatile, especially when you have associated types functionality of them. And for example, did you know that I forgot them. Did you know that optional is an enum itself? It's defined as an enum. That's pretty neat. You can use this pretty cool trick with enums. You can use that to represent error codes and define it as an integer, and the compiler is going to prevent you from repeating the same error twice, which is pretty handy. You can use enums to represent the state of your view. This is something that is being advocated in the dub session here, and that's pretty cool because you encapsulate the state, you make sure that it's mutually exclusive, and it's pretty handy. Andy have been doing it, and it is either enum that you write yourself, and that is pretty useful to present binary types that can be either something or something else. And traditionally, is enum that has two cases, left and right. That's the code, and they can both hold a type. And either is pretty useful when you want to do that kind of stuff, like you have a table view of pizzas that also need to show advertisement, and you want to inject them, and you can strongly type your code and enter all the cell generation and configuration simply switching on. Anyway, let's go over and let's talk about result. Result pretty straightforward. Is another enum that we can use to describe the result of an operation that can succeed or fail, and we can put the failure into this case here, and this will be the error that we produced. And look how cool it is when you use it with an SQL session, actually, URL session, but task. Instead of having to guard on your data and response an error that are optional, you can just switch and you say, hey, if it was successful, do stuff with the values, otherwise do stuff with the error. There's an open source implementation of result by that anti-typical, which gives you lots of other features like map and flat map. So you get a result with some values inside, and you can transform the values and it gives you another result, and you can compose everything. And the same goes for the errors. So say that you have errors and you transform them. This is super cool. It's called materialize, and it allows you to wrap a try catch statement into a result, so that you don't need to do try catch. You just wrap it, and you get all these powerful feature of composability of results, so that you can transform result and value instead. So optional, either, result. What do they have in common? Well, they're all enums. They all have two cases. But what is pretty cool about them is that they all use the generics. Generics is a switch that I personally haven't really brought yet. I can't leverage generic one now as I like it to. Generics are powerful. Basically, hey, my art has created what do you want, and brings a lot of into, and this allows us to create abstractions, and abstraction are what every programmer should strive towards, because if you have right abstraction, you can do a lot with very little code. For example, I've been playing around with the idea, it's nothing novel, like it's people have done it already, of a generic table view controller. So you get a table view controller with an array of data and a function to configure yourself. This is what you need to do instead of having to write all the way yourself. I think that we see variable choices are awesome. They allow you to download or validations to understand your value. If you have say G now, the tools you get about they need. They're they're okay, they're safe to work with. And this kind of idea of dependent types, which is something that functional programming language called Idris introduced, and it's sort of like types that have an high level of specification. So to say, hey, this array is an array that is never empty, or this string is a phone number, so it's a string that has some integers and values. Anyway, all these ideas come from looking around open source Swift and playing around. And when I say playing around, reading the tutorial, doing really simple work with functional programming language like Haskell, Clojure, and Idris. And that's about it. I would really, encourage you to try less conventional code, get out of the comfort zone, try to start yourself. And I'm just going to leave you with Shia that says just do it. This question. A week. A week 2 or 3 times every day. Yeah. Yeah, and I think Sean speaks for experience. Yes, that's a good question. And so, Ken Black, who I really hope everyone knows who is a pretty cool dude. He's kind of the father of TD and extreme programming, and he was into the group of people that signed the Azure Manifesto. So something like, I can't really quote it exactly, but it's something along the lines of, there is time to be, I can't get the quote right, sorry, but basically it says that there's a time to be explorative and try to mess around, and that's the time to be productive and just work with the team, do stuff that you is going to work. So I think all that stuff is mostly spent in my spare time, and if I really find something that is useful and powerful, for example, of both those ideas, the only one that I really bring in with the things that I work with are result and the failure initializers. So I think they're pretty simple to understand, and they deliver a lot of value. It's like, well, try it out yourself, play around with it, and that's where it's all geeky and nerdy and fun. And then if you think that is valuable, try to introduce it with your colleagues, talk about it, and maybe, I don't know, for example, a lot of people talk about how we could use Redux in Swift apps to centralize our state management, and that is kind of an approach that's advocated across all the application. You can actually segregate into just a view controller. So you say, hey, why don't we try out just one view controller that we know that is relatively safe, and if we mess it up, we can rewrite pretty quickly. Obviously, don't tell your client that you're doing that. Yeah, well, trying to squeeze it in, I tried to put a very interesting thing things besides pizza already happened, so everyone was happy already. Pablo? No, no, I haven't. When I said, like, you know, yeah, when I say like that I play around with stuff, is really, really playing around. Like the first three logos, I know what they do. I've been on the homepage, I download the SDK and hello world, but that's kind of as far as I've been. Although I am reading learning Haskell for Greater Good, and I really recommend it to everyone. Any other question? No. All this stuff is going to be available on GitHub, so I'm going to share the links on our Slack. Thank you.
Yeah. So a bit that kind of that talk is I kind of count plan like at 5:30. So I don't have slide, I don't really have much preparation, and I'm kind of doing some live coding changes, so it's risky, of course. Always like to talk in this space, so also we go. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if my course will be exciting. Anyway, what was one? Oh, it was. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, right. Cool. Right. So the notes I'm going to have that because I actually need to look them. Cool. Like Chino, actually, I'm Chino. I work with intelligence to me. And some of you who have noticed me asking higher people have maybe heard me mention that we're getting order which is a pilot project where it's effectively phone gap, but now it's a pilot project. You can make all apps with HTML, CSS, and some people actually want to know why we did that, opposed to building with Swift or React even. So we have a couple of different priorities that we wanted to do. One of them was we knew we would build a web version at some point, and we didn't have enough engineers who weren't, having a dedicated iOS dev and dev, and yeah. And also we have to do video chat, which doesn't exist really in React Native language yet, and it did in Cordova to a point that was plugins, and that's kind of what we did. So I'll show you kind of the workflow that would exist. I mean, Anthony kind of didn't tell me he was talking kind of, it's very similar in regard, but I'll show you what it looks like. So this looks big because we use viewport widths in CSS, which actually is a unit in CSS that actually defined to be the size of the viewport, right? So it means that when we scale our app, it resizes them. For example, if we make it responsive, we can actually drag like that, and all the weights, all the fonts, everything scales to that, which is nice. So this is Chrome. This is looking at the app in Chrome as it's right now. All the fonts I don't know why, but because I have mistakes, I fix some mentions. The app, this is the new app. You can see iOS app is in the process of being transformed to this app. I mean, now doing the believe me that this is totally up right now. Hold on a second. So when you inspect a device, if you run an app that uses a web on Android, you can actually attach a web from a computer, right? So what you see on that screen is actually a bit delayed, but if I can actually control the app, because I'm probably not. Right. So I'm not sure how we can see that, but that's the app. I can actually control it from my Mac. And I guess to do all the utilities I like, inspect elements. Snap is actually on React with Redux. I'm not the front person, thankfully. So I'll keep it stuff. It's in Redux. You get the JavaScript console. You have all the stuff like logic, for example. If I wanted to change it, just imagine that you're seeing this screen. Like, it's actually an app. Okay, alright, just make sure. Whoa, it's big. So, yeah, yeah. So it builds for iOS. You use Fire. Fire is console kind of crap. Okay, Android. Big thing for me is console. The autocomplete is like doing with eight keystrokes. It's autocomplete. So you type quickly, or I don't type that quickly. It still chooses keystroke and autocomplete wrong there, and it's super frustrating. Yep, so I'm going to change books. Oh, this is not welcome. Home next. Right. So I mean, you sort of all in loaded stuff, blah blah blah. So welcome, be like, hello, save, and then that updates, and then so all same stuff. The cool thing is you get access to the web testing tools, which are lies ahead of mobile test tools. So so you can show you our CI pipeline. We look like all the other good companies out there. This is our pipeline. As you can see, we moved something in today. The tests we currently use Nightwatch, which I actually don't like. But so you run tests. Where is this? Running Nightwatch. These aren't clear as likely, but we're starting with building details, blah blah blah, with all these tests. And if tests do either fail or raise JavaScript error for some reason, we have screenshots captured and then uploaded to the card so you can see the inline here. Ideally, that could be better. I am working on making that better, which I haven't had the time yet. But yeah, so being able to do web, iOS, Android, and generally Windows Mobile these days is like, I don't know what that has in the mobile. In your app, devs don't even need Xcode or Android Studio because combine those two things are about 50 gigs on this, unfortunately. When I want to get another server today. Yeah, actual testing thing you can do and run on site. Any questions? So, Safari thankfully has the best accessibility engine ever. So on iOS, I'm tested, but I mean, hold on a second, I don't have it working on that yet because I'm still on the old version, but it's accessible in web, it's accessible. So you can do hinting, so you can do set the aria dash attribute main switch screen readers. I mean, to interpret that in a different way, but I've never actually used screen readers, just all accessibility because I am there with AutoCAD, but I don't see that being from just so I don't know about Android at this point. So, I mean, it's a one-page, it's effectively a one-page about. So I mean, it's just uh, so, I mean, I'm not the front-end person, so it's effectively so I'll use ES6, which is JavaScript stuff bad. There's also ES7, which is 2016, but that's even being finalized, so it's using ES6 now. We're not using Flow, which is Facebook type checking syntaxing yet, because we literally just shipped out and that we're configuring computing before we get back to coding. Did that answer your question? So the risk with doing type-driven and all that stuff is it's a little bit different JS. So people who are normal JS devs like to see, where from my understanding, Flow is pretty minimal in that aspect unless you opt in easier. TypeScript also has the same thing, but again, we just haven't had time to probably dabble with those languages yet. I guess that would be Webpack. So yeah, is the JavaScript thing that lets you do like I mean I think that's what it does. I'm not sure. Imports you can do stuff like import only certain functions from a file, which is super nice. So rather than include the entire file, then you like start you can include individual functions, and then yeah, that's actually quite handy because you have minimal global state in regard because when you can, like for example, if I find let foo equals bar, right? This is actually accessible within this context only. Unless you export it by doing stuff like that, and then you input it from the other thing, it doesn't get closed, which is nice from not leaking well stuff. Yeah. So I thought so too initially, but I mean the tests that we've done on, I mean this is an Exodus. There's still some people who has some Android 4.4 phones. It's like 2014, and it was pretty snappy. The video stuff actually works pretty well because Android can embed Crosswalk, which is like a newest Chromium package into your app. So you don't have to worry about all the Android phones not having the features that you need, which, for example, you would like to see, which didn't really exist properly back then. So our stuff works there as well, and it's hard to accelerate functions. Otherwise, I only had to run that smoothly in a extra phone. Yeah, I mean, performance for us right now isn't the honest, isn't the top priority. Right, is getting apps out and they work. And we will probably not seek to hold it forever, but right now, with the number of different resources that we have, the tooling that I want, and timelines that I have to deal with, this is the best option, I believe. Exactly, and yeah, it's also doing like Swift animations, so that's fun. So, unlike React Native, it doesn't create any, well, you see it in browser, so when you see an app, by default, it's all WebView. Whatever is really is it's a bunch of native wrappers that support the various native platforms. For example, on Android, there's plugins to deal with Bar, because that's native. You actually write native code to do that. And stuff like push notifications, you have libraries that handle that for you. And one of the maps, for example, if you check stuff with Talkbox, the end version just uses WebPC because it's supported browser, except for Flash. So we have to use the iOS SDK. Some from the company has written a Clover plugin, and a bunch of companies, Intercom, at the based and Cocoaheads. Someone written for the plugins that you can use to integrate with the SDKs. The problem is Cocoaheads tends to be pretty terrible because people don't like just write JS and it makes more rather when you deal with it. But it works. You can write your own plugin pretty easily. So if you want to talk native, then you can do that. Yeah. Pretty as I think there's a list on here somewhere. So these are things that kind of build on core as well. So don't get Ionic, never the small Visual Studio, Code, Solaric, Intel stuff. There's many companies here outside useful to deliver. Probably nothing that anyone will actually recognize. So didn't, but yeah. So probably nothing you will recognize, but hopefully you'll recognize this at some point. The cool stuff that we can do today, Microsoft also play software called Codepush, which was both Holo and React Native. What it allows you to do is you can patch it and update the app, ship it to the servers, and then when the app sees that on the package in the background and when the app launches again, then you code. So you don't have to go to the App Store, which is something I actually want because, coming from a background, I'm used to not having to wait for someone to approve my code before flicks upon matters. So I want to add a risk mitigation factor because if you can make changes quickly and be able to kind of get stuff through, you have less of a risk of introducing a bad change, having more. The bad change makes the package you can make very quickly, whereas Apple, oh hell yeah, there's a update that stuff. You don't have that problem. In what way? Cryptography. So, this design, you have to talk about all servers. I believe there's certificate pinning. I mean, so you have certificate pinning, otherwise you have to store certificate on its own, in which case, compromise it anyway, so the risk is, one side, one thing. Also, it's web-based, so you can already manage the web stuff if you have the right certificates. Yeah. Thank you. Also, Myron.
Oh wow, okay. Right, so I put myself last and I was doing really well, something that's not. My little line tonight is on, believe it or not, it's on a iPhone app that's written in Swift completely. There's no JavaScript at all. I have got a part, there's part of this app that is JavaScript, but it's a website that's loaded into a Safari where you can follow. I wrote myself in Swift, so it's okay. So, sorry. It is JavaScript, but it's not compiled in the app. It's okay. I'm not using it to compile the app. It's Swift, that's what I'm saying. So, I've been seeing it for a year now that I work at a small company we're based in Richmond called Bean. This is the desktop site 30% of people use. Everyone else uses mobile, which is my passion. But this is we're a little company that the best coffee shop around, and we started in Melbourne because it's the most hipster coffee place in the world. San Francisco's catching up because everyone from Melbourne moving to San Francisco. And this website launched a couple months ago as well. And since I started there, we've been replatforming the whole business from what was monolithic PHP application to multiple monolithic PHP applications called microservices. But this is only, and just if you're not sure of interest, this is, we have new we have, popular coffee shops in Melbourne. New feature released very recently, which I'll talk about in a second, is pay coffees with Vita. So we're in that space too. And we've got 25,000 cafes, 100 something thousand reviews, 60, 80,000 users. We're kind of that go-to for coffee. That's a niche that we're playing. Kind of like a TripAdvisor, like a Zomato, but with specifically coffee. We run a small business on coffee beans. If you've jumped on board that, with chip coffee beans, that's what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is Bean Hunters 3.0. We launched about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's a little bit blurry now. And I want to just do a quick demo of that. I'm going to be the first person to swap machines between the presentation. Let's try this. Alright, here we go. So new Bean Hunter app, it's Matt's Matto. Little Bean Hunter app here, their account, nicely. And he insisted on doing the account, so he made sure that he got through us before we launched. So you jump into Bean Hunter and immediately you're greeted with a whole pile of cafes right nearby. The Find Coffee Near Me is basically the number one feature of the app. You jump in, a lot of these missing details of them. We'll get to that later on. But jump in, Patricia's find us. You can see that they're a top cafe in 2015. We launched those statistics every year. Launched those top cafes every year. You've got photos, you've got reviews. Very, very similar to other social apps. We've got a top cafe list that we publish around the world. Melbourne is our biggest one. Honey Cakes is number 1 still. Basically, we've got all the best coffee shops on here. One of the other features is this new pay with Vita. And it's, say for example, you like coffee, you next door, and you want to go and pay for your coffee with Vita. You can buy the coffees from us, and you turn up to the coffee shop. For example, you've got a pay now button at the bottom. This is the website. You jump on, you've got an account with us, you've got one coffee, I've got one coffee at the moment. And then you've got this in your hand at the coffee shop, you key in how many coffees you want, I can only do one. And then the way that we've done our payments model is you get to the screen, you hand it to the barista puts in their PIN number for the cafe, and that completes the loop. So you can go and easily buy a coffee with Bean Hunter. I think we've got 43 to 44 coffee shops in Melbourne at the moment. That's the amount there. We've also got user profile. Sorry? At the moment it's deliberately only coffee. Extra things like that we're aware of. Yeah, that's a huge thing. One of the other things we do during the day is come up with other business ideas that you hunt for. So that's the gist of Bean Hunter. You can also jump in and search locations. People auto suggest. I can't count the number of apps I've written with auto suggests for companies around. But you jump in, you can pick your shops in San Francisco as well. Just implemented some filters, so you can filter by the number of reviews, the minimum score, or by the score or how far away they are from you. Which one? Oh, that one. Oh yeah. I can talk to you about bringing in third-party forms libraries. And this is one of them, and it's very quick to find those issues. Yes. That's also blue, and if I scroll around or touch something, it goes orange. Anyway, different problem. So, hold on, I'll get to that. Eureka. Yeah, I've already won pull request. It's close to maintaining it. skeptical from everyone with form library. We thought, no, that's not, and easy form. So in the 3.0, it's iOS minimum or plus. It doesn't work on iOS 10 because it's good constraints so hard. Some views doesn't work yet. So the compiles are iOS 10 anyway. It's 100% Swift. It's running the latest version of Xcode. It's top notch in that regard. It's all storyboard based. Storyboard references from the get-go. It's all nice and not you like that. We did it in development from kind of May last year all the way through to very recently. All right, that's a day bungle for not. No, it took a year. It took a year, not 9 days. Okay, no, it took a year. So yeah, I was going to get 1 day wrong tonight. But we had in development from before iOS 9 was released. So in the current state of iOS 10, we started this project and we mashed all the way through the betas. iOS 9 released. The original plan was to get it out before iOS 9 was released. We got it before iOS 10 was released. So I can say that we're getting third-party things. We use Carthage for dependency management. It's just for interest of people. Element 5 networking. Argo, Curry for JSON parsing. Argo is really fun. If you want to learn things really quickly, like you want to tinker on the weekend, how the hell does Argo work? Bond for bindings saves doing any kind of delegate fallbacks for our table views. I'm not sold on it at the moment. It seems to be a lot of magic. Bright futures promises futures. If you play in JavaScript land, you'll view the little promise API. Rather than doing, instead of doing sort of completion fallbacks, you end up with promises and things. And I'm enjoying that, playing with that. We use bug. Does anyone use bug snag? You. Bug snag for crash reporting instead of all the other things. We also have all our JavaScript apps post bug snag and our PHP apps. So we've got one account bug snag. Google Analytics for analytics. And I haven't built our app on anyone else's phone. Just like intern testing, how we publish it. One advantage of a small Swift app is it'll take half an hour to compile it. It'll take a lot more. Our release strategy for VNhouse was a complete re-platform. So I built the previous VNhouse app 2.5 years ago. This time we decided to rebuild the whole platform. So we've got a new API, a new website, we've got a new iPhone. We just started fresh across the board. We wanted to come up with the stable features first. So what I showed you today was some real basic sort of features, just basically searching, logging in, applying for, adding reviews, and adding photos. We incorporated one new business opportunity, which was this payment system, and we'll be following up with request features. So one of the things we put in really quickly was when you want to get the first time, it's kind of got this little intro screen that says, hey, all the features aren't here. Give us some feedback. People will be giving some feedback. Release often, we've released a 0.1 release, and then 12 hours later, 0.11 release that fixed the bug. Anyway, Apple's new review stuff is excellent. Just goes through straight away. So since we launched a few weeks ago, we've had 186 emails that people have clicked on the feedback button. We're a small team of 3 people, and that's just from the app. We get shit from other things as well. It's been a barrage of impact. What it signifies to me is we've replaced app people like with something that's missing something like. We've had 30 app store reviews. We're seeing it 3 stars. I know that we wrote 2 of those reviews. 2 of them spam from China, which were 5 stars. So feedback being kind of a little bit. Some people review cafes and actual reviews for us. So it's a little bit hard to gauge. In the office, we run this. This is our whiteboard. We write down the features that people ask for and do a check scrubbed out the requests and put a check mark. We haven't had any more requests for filters, which is great. Because then, but if you look at what people want to do, they want to tell us when the cafe is closed. People hate it when the cafe is closed. They want to tell us. They want to tell us they want new cafes. So it's been great to sort of put a screen out there to say, tell what you want. So adding cafe and reporting cafes closed is what we're working on next. Adding cafe reporting is closed. Adding a cafe is it's closed now. It's finished. Cafe come go. Favorite cafe is something we had before that we didn't back in. The API support we had in the front end yet. I can add more better search filters, so type in a name. We need to back the API with something like Elasticsearch instead of a regex. So we're gonna work on that. Web features we're gonna bring in things like app links where your I think what it's called where your HTTP 100.com turns up link an app if you put it on the front. I think it's what it's called. Things. You remember the links? I need to work out what to do with that when I go to implement. Notifications at the moment, the internet notification system says our emails. They're pretty easy to plug into push notifications, and then being able to share a photo on Bean Hunter is one of the things we're going to do there. The idea of paying for coffee with Bean Hunter, and in fact, we're literally in Melbourne where we're launching. If you go on beanhunter.com/get-coffee and you log in or sign up, we'll get you a coffee that you can use at one of those free cafes over in Melbourne. It's part of the promotion to promote business. You guys as Cocoaheads community are kind of head to FBs anyway. Look if you're on the video program. If you're in my office, you probably will try this. Jump on beanhunter.com/get-coffee. It's legitimately free coffee. There's nothing. If you don't use it, or say you can work out how to use it, it's part of the problem. Maybe come work out. You tell me. But that launched this afternoon. Just coincidentally, we had the website this afternoon. So that run, and that's another. And any questions on any of that? Yeah. To hustle, it was probably about 10 weeks of like full time. That were intended. We kind of had the design done, or the gist of the design done up front. It was just putting it together. Like it's kind of hashed as you go. We were aiming for hours and these, so we'll smashing through betas, trying to get them out. Where the beta became a thing. We're smashing through the betas, and it's a little bit of time. Japan's management was a real pain in the ass through the period. It just took time. If you have people working on it for 2 weeks and then a week off, and it just takes time to take that part and bring down. We had to do this at the same time. Just so we had an app that already working. That the last 4 weeks. Something looking somewhere that still serves the old ones. We weren't working on it full time for 12 days. I came into the project relatively late. I'm really impressed with the simplicity. Using storyboards, using Swift, the computer purely Swift. We have minimal external dependencies. It's pretty straightforward. We have the same problem as every other business. We need to do Android app as well. But we've done the two at the same time. we'll talk about that later. It's been on, it's in the side in my ear all the time. I wouldn't have done that for this. Looking at something like Android going forward, like that's the next pro you need to do. I might use something like that for Android because I'm less experienced with it. I'm so experienced with iOS, even jumping in halfway through. But also plans for being through not just a generic cross-platform app. The beauty of Enhancer will be integration with iOS 9 and iOS 10. Apple Pay, share sheets, all those sort of things, all the things that web can't do. Yeah, we can debate it right now. I wouldn't do anything. I'm dealing with bad development timelines was the problem. Having people on and off part-time was a problem. You have a continuous amount of effort, you get way more done. That's a difference. Yeah. Yeah. Good profiles. I use the non-fill error logging on other applications. For iOS, I'm not sure. I haven't played with it. But they don't really update the iOS logging much. Again, I'm going to say where I've maintained for and keep it up. Yeah. They general. Yep. Payment jig. Payments we built for the payment throughs. They're just really on top of. So when you payments, it just a website transfers the location from your iPhone straight web in on both, and you just in web land you're in a just like so that the payment for that is a little bit clunky going and credit cards, but I'm doing like it's real. Sorry. And they look not a business. Of all that we fiddled that was technically in with point system and I don't know local point of similar it's a problem. So we decided to go to a couple like in the air and we said, we'll track payments or you gotta take home the pin just have the handy for we do the rest. You dial it on you and all the work to all the audio that we have there, if they had concern with the process, that wasn't, okay, yeah, I get that. It's easy for them to teach their stuff. I can see it a little bit awkward sometimes if you're a new user in Hunter handing over. But if the staff service, I want to be in the staff wherever, we have no issues. No, boss. We have a lot of friends, and we didn't have any problems. So we didn't break in the sense that we have to multiple people, we kind of followed out independently. But at this point, that hasn't been the pain point, if that makes sense. Oh, come on, the Canadian both places, Hawthorne and Richmond. Oh. You're a hard one, please. We like running a cafe politics. But that's what we're just trying to track. We're going to track that in the early days. Yeah, just walk down to and down there and yeah, it'll do good. Alright, so give it more attention. That's it for the time. I think that went really well. We actually did long walks this time last year. It was a lot of fun. So thanks to everyone for attending. That was really good. Most of the drinks was great. The name up here again on the 11th of August. I double checked that date. It is correct. Next hack night is 29th to 26th of July, the Millhouse. My little program that generates these slides had that wrong, and I fixed it. Yeah. So that's the 26th Millhouse, and the Irish pub is Irish Times